Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Today, we're diving into the powerful stories of black Muslims and their journeys to Islam. From Muhammad Ali to Jermaine Jackson, Mike Tyson, and more, each individual's path is a unique blend of faith, culture, and resilience. These icons have not only embraced Islam, but have allowed it to shape their identities and influence their impact on the world. Get ready to hear about the personal transformations, challenges, and faith that have defined some of the most influential figures in black Muslim history. Let's explore these remarkable stories together. Muhammad Ali first. Let's talk about Muhammad Ali. Now, Ali's family background was a mix when it came to religion. His dad, Cassius Clay Sr., was Methodist, while his mom, Odessa Clay, was Baptist. Growing up, young Muhammad was raised in his mom's faith, going to church with her and his brother, Rahman. They'd be there every Sunday, just the three of them, since his dad didn't join. He'd stay home, saying Odessa could raise the boys her way, because she was a good woman and a good Baptist. Now, the turning point came in 1959, when Muhammad was in Chicago for the Golden Gloves tournament. There, he met a representative from the Nation of Islam, who told him that Islam was the true religion for black people. This message hit him hard, especially since he'd already started questioning why the churches he'd been going to seemed to represent only white people. It sparked a curiosity in him, and he started going to meetings with Nation of Islam members to learn more. A few years later, in 1962, Ali and his brother were taken to another meeting by a Nation of Islam member named Sam Saxon. It was there that Malcolm X spoke, and Muhammad found himself drawn to Malcolm's words. They were powerful and inspiring. This was the beginning of what would become a deep mentorship and friendship between them. As Muhammad continued to spend time with Malcolm X and the Nation of Islam, the media started to speculate about his involvement with the group. Then, in 1964, everything changed. After winning the title of heavyweight champion of the world, Muhammad announced that he was a devout Muslim and started going by the name Cassius X. Not long after that, on March 6, 1964, Elijah Muhammad himself gave him a new name, Muhammad Ali. After Ali's journey with the Nation of Islam, a notable event took place in Ghana, where Malcolm X and Ali crossed paths. By then, Malcolm had split from the Nation of Islam and formed his own organization, focusing on Sunni Islam. Later on, in December 2015, Ali spoke out against extremism. He said, "True Muslims know that the ruthless violence of so-called Islamic jihadists goes against the very tenets of our religion. Our political leaders should use their position to bring understanding about the religion of Islam and clarify that these misguided murderers have perverted people's views on what Islam really is." Muhammad Ali passed away in June 2016 at the age of 74, leaving behind a legacy that extended far beyond boxing. Jermaine Jackson. Jermaine Jackson is second on our list. Jermaine LaWayne Jackson, born on December 11, 1954. You probably know him as an American singer-songwriter, bass guitarist, and music producer. He was a lead singer in the Jackson 5, and of course, he's Michael Jackson's brother. This is how he tells the story of his conversion to Islam. It all started back in 1989 when my sister and I went on a tour of a few countries in the Middle East. We had an incredible welcome in Bahrain, and while we were there, I spent some time chatting with the local kids. We were just having a casual conversation, asking each other questions when they asked me about my religion. I told them, I'm a Christian. Curious, I asked them what their religion was. The way they all responded together with one voice saying Islam really struck me. There was this calmness about them, and they started sharing what they knew about Islam in their own simple way. You could tell from the way they spoke that they took pride in their faith. And honestly, this little interaction really stuck with me. That brief moment with those kids got me thinking and led to deeper conversations with Muslim scholars. A lot was shifting in my mind. I couldn't ignore that something inside me was changing. Eventually, I couldn't deny to myself that I was feeling drawn to Islam. The first person I told was my family friend, Kunber Ali. He ended up taking me to Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. I was still learning about Islam at the time. And while I was there, I had the chance to go to Mecca to perform Umrah with a Saudi family. That's when I publicly declared for the first time that I had become Muslim. After I got back to the United States, things got difficult. The American media started this wave of negativity against Islam and Muslims, and it really threw me. Suddenly, there were rumors and attacks on me in the press, and it was unsettling. Hollywood, too, was constantly portraying Muslims in a negative light, labeling them as terrorists. And this was confusing because, having studied both Islam and Christianity, I saw a lot of common ground between the two. The Quran holds Jesus as a highly respected prophet, so why was Christian America so quick to condemn Muslims? It left me feeling really frustrated, and I decided I would do everything I could to counteract these false images of Muslims in the media. I didn't realize how much backlash I'd get from the American media just for accepting Islam. Here they were, always preaching about freedom of expression and freedom of conscience, but now they were turning it around on me. But through it all, I felt a strong sense of completeness, a feeling that I was now a whole person. Becoming a Muslim brought a huge change in me. I gave up everything Islam prohibits, and I was committed to living by my faith. This was challenging for my family too, and honestly, the Jackson family went through a lot because of it. We even received threatening letters, which only added to my family's worries. That's my journey. Mike Tyson. All right, let's talk about Mike Tyson in third place. Born Michael Gerard Tyson on June 30th, 1966, he's known for being one of the most famous boxers in the world, an athlete, a businessman, a podcast host, and an all-around personality. Tyson's fighting style was ferocious, earning him the title, the baddest man on the planet. But while the 1980s were full of career highs, by the end of the decade, things started to fall apart. His mentor, Cus D'Amato, passed away in 1985, and Tyson found himself struggling with cocaine and alcohol. Then, in 1991, he faced serious legal trouble, was charged with rape, and ended up serving a 6-year prison sentence. It was during this time, in the mid-1990s, while he was in prison, that Tyson found Islam. In 1995, he adopted a Muslim name, Malik Abdulaziz, symbolizing the beginning of a new spiritual journey. Fast forward to December 2022, and there are videos and images of Tyson in Mecca, performing Umrah with DJ Khaled. Tyson has openly admitted that his relationship with Islam is complex. He's said that there are times when he hasn't been fully devoted, but he's always grateful for the strength and purpose Islam has given him in tough times. Over the years, he's spoken openly in interviews about how Islam has brought him inner peace and helped him cope with his challenging past. Although his faith journey hasn't been simple, Tyson has always publicly acknowledged himself as a Muslim, and he's clear about the importance of Islam in his life. Recently, on a podcast with the Nelk Boys, Tyson shared a bit more about his faith. When they asked him about being Muslim, he said, "I have the characteristics of many religions, but I am a Muslim. I love God. I pray more than I can. My faith in God, when I die, I will die a Muslim. This is me as a person. God protects me. He comes to me in all possible aspects." He was honest, though. He admitted that he finds it hard to practice his faith sometimes, calling himself a lazy Muslim. Tyson's journey with Islam is unique, and he's always real about it. And as always, Allah knows best. May He make our faith easy for us and guide us on the straight path. Amin. Lupe Fiasco Wasalu, Mohamed Jocko is fourth on our list, although you probably know him as Lupe Fiasco. He was born on February 16th, 1982, and he's not just an American rapper but also a record producer. Growing up in the tough neighborhoods of Chicago, he saw a lot, like crack addicts passed out on his front stoop. But while some of his friends were in and out of jail, Lupe was on a different path. He joined the chess club, competed in the academic decathlon in high school, and even got involved in drama. Lupe says, "I was born Muslim, but for a large part of my life I wasn't necessarily raised Muslim. His father made sure he was exposed to all kinds of ideas, from Western philosophy to Eastern philosophy, which gave him a sense of tolerance. This outlook is present in his music, and in Words I Never Said, he directly addresses Islamic extremism, saying, 'Jihad is not a holy war. Where's that in the worship? Murdering is not Islam, and you are not observant.' Lupe's story and music show how he's navigated the contrasts in his life, using faith, curiosity, and music to understand the world and make a powerful impact. Ice Cube. Okay, let's talk about O'Shea Jackson Sr. in 5th place, but most people know him as Ice Cube. He was born on June 15, 1969, and he's done it all: rapper, songwriter, actor, and film producer. Ice Cube started off in the industry as a hardcore rapper from the West Coast, and in 1992 he converted to Islam. When asked about his faith in an interview with The Guardian, he said, "What I call myself is a natural Muslim because it's just me and God. You know, going to the mosque, the rituals and traditions, it's not my obligation, so I don't do it." Since he converted in 92, Ice Cube stayed true to Islam in his own way. He said that while he respects the Nation of Islam, he was never part of it. He has, however, expressed support for the positive influence the nation has on young black men. In fact, on the cover of his album Death Certificate, he wrote, "The best place for black young men and women is the Nation of Islam." He knows the group is controversial, especially given their history, but for him, they represent strength and self-love for the black community. Ice Cube has also shared some of his thoughts on Twitter about Nation of Islam founder Mohamed, saying, "God's messenger, Mohamed warned America what would happen to her if she didn't change her evil ways from the 1930s. But you tried to shut that message down because it was too factual for you." And he's mentioned how he respects Lupe Fiasco, a leader in the Nation of Islam, whose lectures he enjoys listening to because he feels their messages of peace. For Cube, the Nation of Islam is about self-respect and self-love, especially within the black community. Now let's talk about Iman Muhammad Abdulmajid in 6th place. She was born in 1955 in Mogadishu, the capital of Somalia, a beautiful country in East Africa. Her father was a diplomat, and her mother was a gynecologist. Interestingly, her mother gave her the name Iman, which is traditionally masculine, to help her compete equally with others. Iman once shared in an interview with Glamour that her mother chose that name because she wanted her daughter to be strong, a woman with a man's name. Iman grew up in Somalia with 2 brothers and 2 sisters, living in a white house right on one of the most beautiful beaches along the Indian Ocean. Somalia was not a wealthy country, but she remembers it fondly, especially the camping trips her family would take to the desert, which stretches across much of the country. When asked about her intense, mysterious look on the runway, Iman explained that she actually pictures Somalia while she's walking. She told Glamour, "Every time I'm on a runway, I deliberately think of Somalia, and I try to take the people watching me to where I am in my head. I want them to see what I see, the desert and the stars that go on forever, illuminating the darkness." Growing up, Iman was raised in a Muslim-majority country where women were often seen as second-class citizens, but her parents showed her a different perspective. Even though it was acceptable in their culture for a man to marry 4 wives, her father chose to marry just 1 woman, showing her that respect was central to their family values. Iman's mother, a forward thinker, often reminded her, saying, "Iman, you don't have to lie down with a dog. You have a choice. You don't have to do anything you don't want to do. One good woman is far better than 10 men." Shaquille O'Neal. Let me tell you a little bit about Shaquille O'Neal, number 7 on our list, or Shaq, as most of us know him. Born on March 6, 1972, Shaq isn't just one of the greatest basketball players of all time. He's also one of the most beloved personalities in sports. With his charisma, humor, and larger-than-life presence, Shaq has made his mark far beyond the court, becoming a familiar face on TV, movies, talk shows, and podcasts. And while everyone knows him as the NBA powerhouse, people have long been curious about Shaq's religious beliefs. Is he Muslim, or does he follow another faith? Shaq was drafted by the Orlando Magic in the 1992 NBA draft, and over his 19-year career, he achieved legendary status, winning 4 NBA championships and earning 3 Finals MVP titles while with the Lakers. And with fame came an impressive media career. But even as he reached more people around the world, questions about his religious beliefs continued to come up, and Shaq has commented on it himself a few times. His background is actually interesting when it comes to religion. His mother is Baptist, while his stepfather practiced Islam. Back in 2008, Shaq referred to NBA player Hakim Olajuwon as another Muslim brother, implying that he, too, identifies as Muslim. He's even mentioned wanting to perform Hajj, the pilgrimage to Mecca, which is a fundamental journey in Islam. His name, Shaquille, is of Arabic origin, and many fans have debated the extent of his connection to the faith. And Shaq has his own unique way of describing his beliefs. When directly asked about his religious stance, he once replied with a memorable line, "I'm Muslim, I'm Jewish, I'm Buddhist, I'm everybody because I'm a people person." It seems he draws inspiration from the positive aspects of many different beliefs. Then there's the story behind his name. Once, he asked his mother why she named him Shaquille, which stood out in a family of more common names like Brian, Kenny, Mike, and Greg. She told him, "I wanted to name you something that meant something." His full name is Shaquille O'Neal, where Shaquille is an Islamic name meaning little, and Rashawn means warrior. She told him, "You're my little warrior. I fought with you, I fought for you." He even shared a funny memory of his mom sticking up for him. When he was only 2, he was already big for his age. They would try to take the bus for free because kids under 3 didn't have to pay, but the driver would insist he looked older. Shaq remembered actually seeing his mom fistfight a bus driver once over this. So that's Shaq for you, a man with a big heart, a unique faith journey, and a sense of humor as strong as his love for people. Mahershala Ali. Let me tell you about Mahershala Ali, who is in 8th place, a truly extraordinary actor and individual. Born on February 16, 1974, in Oakland, California, Mahershala really came into the spotlight during the 2010s. He made waves with his incredibly moving and nuanced performance as Juan, a fatherly drug dealer in the film Moonlight, which came out in 2016. That role won him an Academy Award, making him the first Muslim actor to achieve such an honor. Mahershala grew up in Hayward, California. His mother was a Baptist minister, and his father left when he was very young to pursue a career in dance. It was during his time at NYU that Mahershala converted to Islam, specifically the Ahmadiyya sect, and adopted the last name Ali. However, the Ahmadiyya sect is not recognized as a sect by Muslims. He was raised as a Christian but found his spiritual home in Islam as an adult. Over the years, he has shown both pride and gratitude for his faith. In fact, he took a strong stand when, in January, at the SAG Awards, he openly criticized President Trump's travel ban. He spoke from the heart, saying, "What I've learned from Moonlight is you see what happens when we persecute people. They fold into themselves. I hope that we do a better job." It was clear in his speech that his faith had not only shaped him, but had brought him and his mother, a Christian minister, closer together over time. When he won his Oscar, Mahershala gave a heartfelt speech. He thanked his teachers and professors, crediting them for helping him understand that his work wasn't really about him at all. It was about honoring these characters and the stories he was given the privilege to tell. He said, "You are in service to these stories and these characters, and I'm so blessed to have had an opportunity. It was about Juan, it was about Chiron, it was about Paula." And in a beautiful, touching moment, he also took time to thank his wife and shared the news that they had just welcomed a baby daughter only 4 days before. Raekwon is the 9th on our list. Born Corey Woods on January 12, 1970, he's an American rapper who first hit the scene big as one of the founding members of the Wu-Tang Clan. Wu-Tang's debut album, Enter the Wu-Tang, 36 Chambers, dropped in 1993 and made an enormous impact, helping the group achieve mainstream success. Then, in 1995, Raekwon decided to launch his solo career with his first album, Only Built for Cuban Links, which was a major critical success. To this day, it's seen as one of the greatest hip-hop albums of all time and a true staple of 1990s rap. Raekwon moved to Staten Island with his mom after she was robbed. By the time he was a teenager, they were living in Park Hill. He actually adopted the name Raekwon, thanks to the 5% Nation, an offshoot of the Nation of Islam, when he was still young. Later in 2009, he converted fully to Islam, a decision that deeply shaped him. In an interview, Raekwon was asked about his thoughts on the political scene during the Trump administration and how he felt about everything going on. His response was powerful. Allah, He sees everything. He's going to let it be what it be, and whenever He wants to fix it, He's going to fix it. Right now, I'm just focusing on my children, my career, and really just letting it be what it's going to be. At the end of the day, it'll work itself out. Us as people, we're dealing with a different kind of government now, so things are going to change. They want all kinds of things they want to do, but we're going to stick together the best way we know how. It's just all about being current, understanding what's going on in the world, and knowing to say what to say when it's time. Raekwon was also asked how converting to Islam affected him personally, and he opened up about how his faith feels natural to him. Spirituality has always been inside me, he said. You always have to look at the Most High and praise Him, appreciate Him, and know He gave you the opportunity to be who you are. I grew up with a lot of older brothers back in the day who were spiritual, and that's knowledge. Everybody needs a little knowledge in their life before it's too late. When you surround yourself with that kind of energy in people, it's only a matter of time before things like that brush off on you. You start paying attention to what's around you and appreciating your blessings. Everything is a blessing. Raekwon's words reveal a lot about how he sees life, rooted in faith, spirituality, and a deep sense of gratitude for every blessing. SZA, last but not least, let's talk about SZA. Born Solana Imani Rowe on November 8, 1989. She's an American singer-songwriter who's really made a name for herself in music. Her family background is multi-faith. Her mother is Christian and her father is Muslim, and she was raised as a Muslim and continues to follow Islam. She describes her faith as a belief in one God and an alignment with the pillars of Islam, saying these are ideas that resonate deeply with her and make sense in her spirit. SZA grew up in Maplewood, New Jersey, where her dad worked for CNN and practiced Islam, while her mom held an executive position at AT&T and practiced Christianity. But even with this mix of faiths at home, SZA was raised devoutly Muslim. She even wore a hijab as a child, but after the 9/11 attacks, she faced a lot of bullying and ultimately decided to stop wearing her headscarf. Today, she doesn't wear it, especially since she's on stage and around the music scene, which she feels could be seen as disrespectful to her religion. So, is SZA a Muslim? Yes, she is. SZA has mentioned her belief in the one true God and her connection with the 5 pillars of Islam. And actually, the last 2 letters in her stage name stand for Zigzag and Allah. Her music often explores themes of self-love, self-acceptance, and navigating life's ups and downs as a young woman, making her work feel both uplifting and empowering. Does she talk about being Muslim? She sure does. In 2021, during a TikTok live session with Muslim Girl in honor of Muslim Women's Day, SZA opened up about her Muslim identity. She shared stories about growing up as a Muslim woman and talked passionately about some common misconceptions about Islam and a woman's role within it, helping to clear up some of the misunderstandings. She stressed that Muslim women like her are complex, capable, and successful in all kinds of fields. She also shared that, like many young adults, she went through a period in her late teens and early 20s where she questioned her faith. It was a time of introspection and exploration, which is a relatable journey for a lot of people. While she admits she doesn't always perfectly align with every aspect of the faith, SZA still identifies as Muslim and considers herself a spiritual person who values the teachings of Islam she's grown up with. At the same time, she noted that her personal beliefs might not completely reflect mainstream Muslim teachings, showing that her spirituality has its own unique path. These stories aren't just about religion, they're about finding yourself, standing up for what you believe in, and staying true to your path even when it's difficult. If you found these stories as inspiring as I do, please hit that subscribe button and join our community. We'll be sharing more stories about faith, culture, and personal transformation that you won't want to miss. Don't forget to ring that notification bell to stay updated with our latest videos. Remember, as Muhammed Ali said, it's about bringing understanding about what Islam really is. And that's what we're trying to do here, one story at a time. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace and blessings to all of you. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.